Good morning. Welcome back to the third of the 5 webinars in the series to support the West Virginia Leaders of Literacy Campaign for Grade Level Reading. I'm Charlotte Webb. I'm the Coordinator of Elementary Education and the point of contact for the Campaign for Grade Level Reading. I'm here with my colleague, Monica Delamay, Lead Coordinator in the Office of Early Learning.
Good morning, everybody.
Monica and I are honored that you've joined us again. And if you would, just let us know if someone can say that they can hear us.
Type it in the chat box, please.
Just so we know everything's working correctly.
Oh, thank you, Brenda Bowie. We can hear. You all can hear. Thank you.
Well, we're going to share the second step today in establishing a county campaign for grade level reading. As we proceed, you're going to note that all participants are muted. So if you have questions as we move through the information, please type them into the chat box, and I'll stop periodically to answer them. This webinar is scheduled for an hour. They haven't typically lasted that long, but at the end of the presentation, I'll open it up for people to ask questions. The webinar is being recorded, and it will be posted along with the others on the campaign website for your use following this session. And I'll take you back to the website and show you again how to get there. My goals for this session are to provide an overview of the county campaign grade level reading needs assessment, to discuss each section of the needs assessment form and how to complete it, and then finally we're just going to review the next possible steps of action to be taken prior to the next webinar. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Monica.
Okay, hello again, everyone. I'm going to talk briefly about the purpose of the needs assessment. The purpose of this tool is to assist counties in determining the unique strengths and challenges currently present at the local level that will impact the campaign for grade level reading based on your current data. This is step 2 in the 4-step process of establishing a transformative system of support for students to meet grade level proficiency in reading by the end of 3rd grade. This information is for you. While you will be able to extract information from the needs assessment in order to complete the county action plan, this form, the county needs assessment, will not be turned in to this office. I do want to remind you that it is imperative to complete step 1, which is community engagement, prior to completing the county needs assessment. For a list of resources to help determine potential partners who can assist with literacy development at the local level, visit West Virginia Leaders of Literacy Campaign for Grade Level Reading website, which can be accessed on the home page of the West Virginia Department of Education. And Charlotte will actually be taking us there in a few minutes. Data to assist with completion of the county needs assessment may be found by going to the helpful links included on the needs assessment form, or by using any additional sources of data you have available. While many individuals will collaborate on the development of the county needs assessment, the county superintendent or his or her designee will need to assure the county needs assessment is completed prior to engaging in step 3, which is creating a county action plan. And as we move forward, let me take just a moment to remind counties to please submit the name of the person taking the lead on this initiative for your county. As of now, Charlotte has only received information from 8 of the 55 counties. In the last superintendent's update, we noted to superintendents or to please identify a person, or actually it might have been the superintendent's update before that. Regardless, please make sure that your county identifies someone to serve as the lead contact for this process. Okay, looking at the needs assessment, section A is simply identifying the contributors. This first section will be used to list those whom you have enlisted to help you with this initiative. Potential stakeholders may include United Way, Family Resource Network, community early childhood partners, such as DHHR or Head Start, private child care centers, Title I, RESAs, higher education, civic groups, faith-based organizations, etc. There are many organizations in your county that are already a part of this work, so braiding your resources with them will allow you to maximize your impact. And remember the potential role of the County Collaborative Early Childhood Team as well as you engage your community partners. This section is self-explanatory. However, if you do need a more comprehensive list of resources to help determine potential partners who can assist with literacy development at the local level, be sure to visit the Leaders of Literacy website. All partners participating in the collaborative process of completing the county needs assessment should be listed as part of the needs assessment. Charlotte's going to tell us now about the next section of the needs assessment.
Section C is really the meat of the needs assessment. In the provided boxes, you're going to be asked to provide a data-rich description in a narrative format to describe 6 areas that will impact your campaign. Their school readiness, 3rd and 4th grade reading proficiency, attendance, and extended learning opportunities, high school graduation rate, and high-quality instruction. Now, the slide shows the section on school readiness, but this very same format is followed throughout. So each part of the section is going to ask very similar guiding questions. Number 1 is just what is the data? What do we have currently? What does it look like? Number 2, what does this data indicate? Number 3, are pieces missing or unavailable? Number 4, what supports and services are in place? So as you think about schools and organizations in your county, you may see that some of them already have a strong system of support in place. Some may have already established relationships with community partners, or just may be experiencing some success in a particular area. So you're going to want to pay attention to those, because then you'll see when we get down to number 6, you're going to be looking at those people to see if there are things that you can import to other schools or groups or be adapted in order to meet unique needs of your schools. Now, I did skip over number 5, but what supports and services are missing or unavailable? Number 7, are our current efforts aligned to state policy, and how can we expand or strengthen our efforts to achieve greater results? And then finally, number 8, what conclusions can be inferred about our literacy efforts and the impact they are having on performance gaps of our children of poverty? And then the final piece of that, the very last box on each of the sections, will give you potential resources to assist you in completing those guiding questions. There are some that we have identified that we think you'll be able to gather resources, but you're certainly welcome to use your own, whatever you have access to. Excuse me. This next slide is showing the high quality instruction section, which is still part of section C. But I did want to just point out one caveat, especially when you gather information for high quality instruction, is that as you look at individual teachers or schools or programs where you're seeing higher proficiency scores, you're going to want to dig deep to get a clear understanding of that data. Make sure you can truly relate it to the teacher or exemplary behavior versus just having a different population of children. So, because you remember that what we're doing is trying to close that literacy achievement from our low-income students to the higher-income students.
Yep. Okay, so for looking at action steps, this is Monica again. There are a few things that we'd like you to do prior to the next webinar. The first is to complete step 1, community engagement, if you haven't already done so. Also, please ensure that you have the right people at the table who can help you gather and disaggregate your data. And the third component is to actually complete the needs assessment. Completing the needs assessment will bring this literacy plan together much more concisely whenever it's time to move forward with that. So now we'd like to open it up for questions. We know this was a relatively short webinar, but we did want to show you at least what's available. And after we have some generalized questions, Charlotte will take us to the website again and talk about future webinars. We can just have them. If you have a question, can you please type it in the chat box? And also, as we're waiting to see if we have any questions, if you don't have questions now, you can always contact us. Charlotte will provide her email at the end of this webinar. Many of you already have it already, certainly, so you can ask at any point in time.
Okay, I don't see any questions. Oh, there is one.
Here, Teresa wanted to know, Teresa Childers, is the needs assessment on the website?
It certainly is, and I'm going to take you and show you that. And, well, when I get there, I'll let you know. We're not sure how the format's going to translate because we didn't want to do it in a PDF form because that didn't give you the ability to save it. So we put it in a Word format that had been in PDF. So we're hoping that, the formatting doesn't get changed so it looks differently than our intention. But we'll talk about that when we get there, when I show you the form.
Looking at the future webinars, you can see on the slide, step 3 is developing the action plan, the actual early literacy plan for your county. That'll be on February 5th at 9 a.m. And then step 4, which will be the final webinar in this series explaining the whole process, will be on March 5th at 9 a.m. And it will focus on the actual implementation of the early literacy plan and toolkits available as well.
Okay, now I'm going to show you how to get to the website. You can access it easily just by going to the West Virginia Department of Education homepage. And then go to our logo, the Creating a 2020 Vision West Virginia Leaders of Literacy. When you click on that link, that will take you to the Campaign for Grade Level Reading website. Now, in order to find the resources, you'll go up to Campaign and down to System of Support. This is where you'll be able to find webinars as we post them and any toolkits or extra information that you might need. So far, the toolkit has been posted for the needs assessment, and this is the form that you'll use. Oops. Hang on, it's taking a second to come up.
There we go.
Yay. So this is the actual form, just has some introductory information. And then you'll see that you're able to enter all of your information here and save it, to your own computer. So that's how you're going to be able to access that.
Again, the more effort, the more data you have, the more aware you are of your county's efforts, current efforts, challenges, strengths, so on, of literacy efforts and proficiency and all those components that Charlotte noted, the easier it will be to complete your plan. So just please keep that in mind as well.
Right, and like I said, if you have any questions, you may not be able to think of anything now till you sort of dig into the needs assessment and determine, what kinds of questions you have, what kinds of assistance that you need. you're welcome to call me anytime. My email is on the screen, as well as my office and my cell phone number, and I'm more than happy to help you, you know, with anything as you have issues come up. And just know, let me remind you also that during the last webinar, if you remember it, I told you that I would post the PowerPoint that I've used to share information about our statewide campaign for grade level reading. And if you need me to go through that with you, you'd like me to do a presentation about that for your, as you engage your community, just let me know about that too. I'm happy to help.
We have just a few questions before we go. Someone asked, you mentioned grade level reading by the end of 3rd grade. Dr. Martirana's One Voice, One Focus entry plan mentions grade level reading by the beginning of 3rd. Can you address this? Really, if you think about it, the first time we will have summative data available for a population of children will be with that 3rd grade summative test, which of course happens at the end of 3rd grade. However, the supports in place as far as looking at this transformative system of support are generally geared for looking through our offices of pre-K through 2nd grade, really. And looking at that 3rd grade year is really a transitional year into that grade of summative testing. Certainly not to say that formative, the formative assessment process is still occurring during 3rd grade, of course. But really that's a semantics issue. We're looking at it, how does what happens prior to 3rd grade impact what happens, what children are like as far as literacy proficiency with the first time we get that summative data, and that's going to be at the end of 3rd grade. So really that's kind of a semantics issue. When is the plan of action due? And we mentioned earlier that you will not turn in your needs assessment to us. The plan of action, Charlotte, do you want to speak to that?
Yes, the plan of action will be due April 15th.
We were going to talk about that during the next time. We don't want to overwhelm people with deadlines. We know that this is the first year for this process. So we'll certainly speak much more to that February 5th during the next webinar. And so just you can keep that in mind. That's a good question, Teresa. Other questions? Okay, well, thank you so much. Yeah.
Wait,
sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One last thing that we would like to ask you to do is complete the survey, just to give us some feedback on what your needs are, if this is useful for you, or what kinds of things we could do to make it more useful. We did get really good feedback last time asking us to post the PowerPoint and information prior to the webinar, and we tried really hard to do that, but again, we couldn't get the formatting right on the needs assessment form that we wanted to post. We wanted to be able to do that all at once. So we didn't get it done this time, but please know we are working towards that, giving you that up front so you can maybe think through questions that you might have prior to the webinar.
And please note that if your superintendent hasn't or designee hasn't let us know who the contact is for your county, we cannot send it to you early because we don't know who that contact person is. So please keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, and if you don't know who your county's contact is, I would ask that. They might just be waiting for a volunteer.
Or it might be you and you don't even know it. Or maybe you do know that very well. So, yeah.
We really do appreciate you all spending your time with us this morning. We do hope this information was useful to you, but again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call. I'm available anytime to help you out.
Okay, thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.